I just don't get it, folks. I don't get what is so hard about making a film. Let's say an 80, 90-minute film where someone just is kicking and killing demons left and right of various forms and a fast-paced shoot 'em up action horror gory picture and call it a day with the various forms. And hell, get the practical effects guys that have been run out of business because of all the CGI nowadays. I'm sure they have nothing better to do because they don't sadly get a lot of jobs. Have them all come together and say, you guys design all the demons from the game and practical effects. Don't tell me budget. This film, you can film it like this, and this film costs $2 million. Pump up some money for effects and demons. You could do it in the vein of that from a POV. I know some people are giving this film leeway because it's a low budget direct-to-video film. I'm not giving it leeway. Number one, like I said, this film only cost $2 million. People are like, well, it flopped. Well, Sally, I saw it. I loved it. I know my friends did. And it's not a known property. Known properties, not always, but a lot of times are more liable to get more profitable or more eyes on the project than a newer property. But a known property, that's why companies go after such known properties, because that's the better chance that more people are going to see it, that it'll be profitable in some way, shape, or form. Now, I mean, okay, if you don't want to use that example, go find a trailer for a film called The Cathedral of Pain, Hotel Inferno 2, The Cathedral of Pain. Find that trailer. These guys did it for pennies. Pennies compared to this. Pennies. That's a micro budget group of guys just filming stuff. Hotel Inferno 2, The Cathedral of Pain. And that looks like a Doom movie. And they had a much lower budget than this, I guarantee you. So don't tell me it can't be done. It can. It's just people want to be lazy and not put in the effort. When people for pennies are outshining you, like the Hotel Inferno guys, in particular the second one, that's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. That's why I can't give this the pass. I'm going to say it one more time in case people can't hear me. Hotel Inferno 2, The Cathedral of Pain. Film that probably cost $1,000. Or for all I know. I mean, a lot less than this. Now, I can't say I'm surprised that this is a bad film. I mean, watch the trailer and marketing, you could pretty much tell. A blind man could tell. But this is such a boring, dull, cheap. You know what this is? It's Doom on the Sci-Fi Channel. That's what it is. On SYFY. Premiering this Tuesday on the Sci-Fi Channel is Doom Annihilation. And right off the bat, you're going wrong with the subtitle Annihilation, because the last time a video game movie had Annihilation in the title was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And that film sucked too. But I'd rather watch that because at least I had a couple of fight scenes I don't mind and a soundtrack I enjoy. Bad movie, but has more going for it than this, sad to say. This, the cast sucked, it looks cheap, the effects are cheap. Some of the effects you might as well have gotten from PS2. The lead has about the acting ability of a door. In fact, I've seen doors act better than this girl. This movie rips off this film a lot. Aliens is like this director. Oh yeah, the great director of Soccer Dog the movie Yeah, that's who you get to do a Doom movie. The director of Soccer Dog the movie, and also Chaos. What's Chaos? A really piece of shit direct-to-video film starring Jason Statham and Wesley Snipes, where they're barely on screen together and they don't really have a fight scene. If they did, maybe their doubles did. I barely remember that film. I know Ryan Philippe is more the star than Statham or Wesley Snipes. So the fact you make a film with Statham and Wesley Snipes and you think Ryan Philippe should get the most screen time, that's the director we're dealing with. Sorry, man. Not a fan of your work. Don't know you personally. Not a fan of your work. This included. They seem to think that if they give you a bunch of Easter eggs, that makes up for everything else. It doesn't. So here, there's a quick bit where a woman's approaching a health machine from Doom 3. Blake, didn't you miss it? When the Marines have these visors, there's a little bit that looks like the map from Doom. So what? I don't give a shit about Easter eggs. I give a shit about a fun, entertaining, good Doom movie. And it's not that fucking hard. Just make an 80-minute movie where someone shoots the shit out of demons of all various forms with good practical effects and gore and kick-ass action. Is that really a tough order? Is that really impossible? Well, it's direct-to-video. Then maybe you should make a fucking Doom movie direct-to-video in the first place. You know, people are like, well, you harp on this and harp on that because it's shit. Why should I use shit? Here's a phrase. If you can't do it right, don't do it at all. That's a lesson Hollywood needs to learn. If you can't do it right, don't do it. Or wait for someone to do it right. Because now you tainted the well of a Doom movie, and no one's going to want to do a Doom movie for a long fucking time. Even though this leaves room for a fucking sequel. Good luck for that happening. But the props look cheap. The most he did is zombies, which I know in Doom there are humans that get possessed and you shoot them, but Doom is not just fucking zombies. There are some imps in here too. I'll give them that. And a little bit of thing at the end, which I didn't give a shit about because it looked cheap as fuck. Looked like it cost $5. And 4 went to the, I don't know, the guy made the pudding. I don't know where the money went to. Didn't go on the screen because it looked cheap. But anyway, the story, Phobos, moon by Mars, there's a station there, and teleport from Nevada to the moon on Mars. Moon by Mars, I should say. Moon on the base on Phobos, and guy goes through from Nevada, appears on Phobos. People are like, yay! And then they don't notice until too late that the guy is bleeding from the eyes. And oh, by the way, when he goes through, this red jelly appears where the teleporter is. I don't know what the hell that was all about. There's just red CG jelly. I don't know why, but for a split second I'm thinking of Spaceballs. It's like the teleporter's jammed. I mean, jam this movie up your ass. Hollywood. The lead comes out of cryo sleep and a female computer is talking. I'm like, is the fucking computer's name Mother? I turned the power off. Mother, you bitch. I mean, might as well be. It really does seem like this director of Soccer Dog the movie just wanted to remake Alien or Aliens. And he's like, shit, I can't do that because it'll piss people off, but I'll use Doom and throw a bunch of Easter eggs. Easter egg here and there, put egg on your face. And that'll be done. Gal cries asleep in her underwear, looking almost like Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. When those cryo sleeps opened up. Female computer talking to you like Mother and the first... Even that was even Aliens 2, because I remember... Aliens 2. In Aliens... To reach minimum safe distance... You didn't hear it a lot. You heard a lot more in the first Alien. But there was a female computer in Aliens, because I remember at the end a voice would say that. So I really talked about this. I mean, other stuff there rips off. There's a point where, oh, we only have 90 minutes or the fusion reactor will blow up. Just like in Aliens when they're like, well, when Lance Henriksen is talking to Sigourney Weaver and everybody in the cast, Bill Paxton, and they see in the distance, how long till it blows? Well, you put her in charge. I can't, but I just... Whenever this movie is dwindling my brain, I just want to think of Aliens and it'll make me happy again. But... like, all they had to do to be a full, complete ripoff of Aliens, they just needed a newt. I'm surprised they didn't have a newt. I'm surprised there wasn't a little girl that the lead girl has to go and save and protect. I am surprised. I am shocked there wasn't one. There's even a moment, remember in Aliens, when the pilot is talking, and she's like, what the fuck? And turns, and the alien goes at her. Same scene is in this movie. The pilot is talking, hears something, does like the same turn in the same direction, and instead of a xenomorph, it's an imp. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then a good chunk of the movie is like the first Resident Evil movie, but in space. Instead of in that first movie when they're going through the labs, they're going through the station. The lead girl, I'm sorry, she did not impress me. She wants to talk all this trash about who needs a Doom guy and blah, 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 blah. I know that people are giving you crap personally. Hey, personally, I don't know you. I have nothing against you personally. I just think as your job as an actress, either you did poorly or the script and direction treated you poorly. Because neither one came off great. I'm sorry, you didn't have the presence, you didn't have the stature, you didn't have the epitome of badass that a lead character in a Doom film should have. Whether it be a guy or a girl, you didn't have it. I'm sorry. And then when you tear the BFG at the end and the gun looks bigger than you, that comes off as laughable and silly instead of cool and neat. It looks like she's ready to tip over by holding the damn thing. And then the BFG 9000 looks like a kid's toy or something someone would take to Comic-Con. I mean, it's like this whole movie, it looks cheap and terrible with bad lighting. Either a lot of times the lighting is too bright, so it makes the rubber suits on the imps look even more fake. When you should have, like, go watch films like John Carpenter's The Thing. Hell, the 2005 Doom film, which I like. I don't love, it's not the definitive Doom movie, but I like. At least it knew that if you don't shoot practical creatures, you gotta have a little bit of lighting so that you can hide any creases and any imperfections. And plus, that had, Carl Urban and The Rock, who gave much better performances than anybody in this film. So getting back to the film, after the lead character wakes up from her cryo sleep, as if she's Ripley from Aliens, they have this dinner around a table as if it was the original Alien. I'm ready for a fucking chest burster to come out. Hey, ain't that bad? And they're talking about underwear. Someone's took my underwear. It's my lucky one. You have a lucky pair of undies? What makes them lucky? They're talking about underwear theft in a fucking Doom movie. A fucking Doom movie. They're talking about where underwear went. Underwear? Up your ass is underwear this movie goes. 'Tis it stinks. This one stinks, as Rocky Balboa would say. You're going over the top. No shit. I might as well go over the top because this fucking movie won't. Because can't afford to go over the top. Apparently. I mean, shitty stuff in the script, like a group of people, the first time we meet the characters, are talking about underwear and lucky underwear and where the underwear went. That has nothing to do with budget. It's called crappy writing and terrible direction. Or dumb lines. Or lines that have been said so many times that it just becomes a walking cliche. Literally, you have a line of, in order to fight the enemy, you have to stop fighting yourself. I swear I've heard that 85 times in various other action horror together type of movies. Oh, by the way, the lead character's name is Joan Dark. Joan Dark. Get it? Like Joan of Arc? Joan d'Arc. Joan Dark. What do you expect from a movie that's called Joan Dark? Well, in the game, the guy's called Doom Guy because they were over the top, senseless killing. Either go for that or go the fuck home. Don't have crazy names like Joan Dark, but then be a boring ass, typical, generic, beyond by the numbers, walking cliche, wannabe sci-fi channel film. This is like the Asylum made a Doom movie. People saying lines like, they'll rue the day they fuck with me, dog. I hope a dog rips up your ass. Talk about the character, folks, not in real life. So this scientist who's on Phobos, he's like, I'm going to go through this portal. Even though the portal already fucked up this guy, and they have him in a straitjacket now, but the guy's like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. Blah, blah, blah. Just to test it out. I'm like, don't you have anything else to test it with? An animal, mice, a fucking spider, I don't know, anything else? Isn't that what scientists do? They usually have fucking things to test it with. But what do I know? So he goes through, as soon as he goes, the whole place screws up. All the equipment breaks. The Marines arrive. They can't get in, so they go through like a back door. And then I swear there's like a 10-minute scene where they're just fighting zombies. Some of them, I swear, look blue. Which it really made me think of like the first Resident Evil movie. And Sally, that's a better movie than this. And there's attempts at an action scene where, you know, the lead girl's trying to be so hard to be a badass. You know, she's getting 2 guns and shooting zombies. Chainsaw kills a couple of them. I guess she's trying to be a badass. This one guy, what would someone call him? The token black guy. He's got a minigun. And he says a stupid line like, I'm your ultra nightmare. Because that's one of the levels of difficulty. So in order for having Easter egg, you gotta have a guy say, I'm your ultra nightmare. Really? God, this whole goddamn movie's a Doom fan's ultra nightmare, man. Nightmare City. The bigger nightmare is that when it ends, it starts up again. I mean, part of me is like, if this was not called Doom, it would just be such a forgettable, by the numbers, generic, in one ear, out the other, zombie movie with crappy effects, terrible acting, cheap props, cheap sets, cheap effects, don't give a fuck characters. At most they're walking cliche, stereotypical characters, music you don't remember a damn note about, with also, you know, a couple demons thrown in there of the imps, which are lit too damn bright, so they look too damn rubbery. And then in the last 5 or so minutes, you have her in hell, and you have this creature that I don't remember from any of the Doom games. So yeah, you have, it's like a creature, and like this part is just fire or something. Like, is that in any of the newer Doom games? You can let me know if you see the movie. Is that from any of the new Doom games? Then she just shoots in one shot, shoots a bunch of them in one shot. Everything looks so horribly green screen and fake and phony. And then she runs off and... Oh yeah, before I did it, I mean, that's the thing, if it wasn't a Doom, if it wasn't called Doom, this movie wouldn't even be talked about at all. It would be out on a Tuesday, and then a couple weeks later in the $3 bin at Walmart. And yes, there are some $3 bins at Walmart. That's really what it is. I mean... Getting back to the token black guy, he has this minigun. I guess it's a minigun. It doesn't, you know, actually look like a minigun. It's a gun that fires like a minigun. And he's like, I'm the Ultra Nightmare. And then he dies like 2 seconds later. So, you're the Ultra Pussy. Mega Pussy. Maybe that's your name. Mega Pussy. Then after that, that's where you get the rip off from Alien, where the pilot turns and the imp kills him. Might as well have a xenomorph show out of fucking nowhere. So then the imps kill some of these guys. One detail I can say I liked is that you do see the imps shooting fireballs. Great. I believe... I haven't played the original game in a while. I played on Super Nintendo, the original Doom. Did they shoot where they're like this and they go like this? I mean, I guess I would assume they would go like this. Maybe because I'm thinking of Doom 3 and that's how they did in Doom 3. But maybe if they're going by the original Doom, that's why the imps are shooting them like this. Hoyutin! That is what it looks like. It looks like they're fucking doing Hayutins! Hayutins! Hayutin, Hayutin! So after the fucking imps do the Hayutins, kill a couple Marines, the one scientist who went through the portal, he has come back, and we know he's a bad guy, and then the guy that we know who's a bad guy, he becomes the bad guy. And of course fucks over the characters. And then some bullshit happens. At one point, the lead girl, I swear she uses like an MMA move to take down an imp. You know that move that you see in a lot more recent action films where you have a character and then they'll swing their legs up and like maybe grab the head and take them down, and maybe calling that MMA move is not correct, but I'm not sure what kind of move that, but I'm like, really? You're doing that on an imp? Really? It just makes you gotta make her look Billy badass. Granted, I mean, the reason she's badass is because of good acting and a good character and a good personality and solid acting chops, being reasons why Ellen Ripley is a great character who just happens to be female. I mean, that's what people forget. You need a great character. It doesn't matter what's between their legs. It's like nowadays we have to have a female character Okay, is it a great character though? Who gives a shit if it's male or female? And this character sucks. Even Carl Urban had more to his character in Doom 2005. At least personality-wise and acting chops-wise. I doubt you don't see this lady go off to do much. Well, it's Hollywood. I guess I shouldn't be surprised if that happens. I'm sorry, I know that's not me being personal against her. It's just me looking at her performance and judging it. And it was boring, to be blunt. Another thing I don't understand, from time to time these imps, I don't remember this from any of the games, where the imps will tab a person down and blue light will come out of their damn mouth. And then the person, like the lead, she sees visions of hell. Is that in any of the games where the fucking blue light comes out of the damn imp's mouth and I don't know what the hell is doing to her? Is it like the Dark Crystal and it's going to turn into a slave or something? Or, that Owls movie, the Legend of the Guardians or whatever, just turn them into mindless... Is it their way of possessing people? I don't fucking know. I guess maybe it's their way of possessing people. I don't fucking know. I guess. There's down to two people, and they're in an elevator, and the guy gets taken to the elevator. I was surprised they didn't find an imp in an elevator like that when they fought a xenomorph in the elevator. She fights the asshole doctor, shoots him, but he's not dead, and then pushes her into the portal. She's in hell, and like I said, she has the BFG 9000, looks cheap, like a kitty toy. There's this creature that, she shoots, then she shoots a bunch of others. Looks really cheap, really low budget affair. Again, well, it's a direct-to-video, man. What do you expect? Then don't make a direct-to-video Doom movie. Did anyone put up their hands and say, I want a direct-to-video Doom movie? It's a waste of fucking money. Hell, you could put that money into better use, whether it be in the real world, feeding people, housing, or in better fucking movies. How about you take pieces of shit movies like Doom Annihilation, these other films, you put them all together, and you make a good movie. Again, budget does not excuse it. I've seen tons of good direct-to-video action movies or horror movies. I've seen low-budget films. Hell, you want to talk about action since Doom? I mean, there's horror, but there's also action. Go watch Drive with Mark Dacascos. Go watch some of these PM Entertainment films, like Riot, or the Jeff Wincott film Last Man Standing, and look at the amount of action these films have. Real and practical. And these were low budgets that went straight to video. Before the times of DVD and such, and VOD. Like I said, go watch the trailer for Hotel Inferno 2, The Cathedral of Pain. Go watch this movie again. That only cost $2 million. Why not make a Doom movie in this style? You had a second chance to do a Doom movie. You had a second chance to... Yeah, Doom 2005 has its flaws. That's why you get rid of what people don't like and do what people want. And you don't do it. And people wonder why people ridicule you. Hollywood, the studios, directors, they wonder why they ridicule you for this shit. Why this film gets a 3 point something on IMDb. Because you have your second chance and you blew it. You blew it. You blew it. So go be the sheriff of Copland and fuck off. What makes me mad is that you have the potential and opportunity to do a decent to damn good Doom movie. If you had talented people who gave a fuck and worried more about the project, characters, action, spectacle, effects, then how many goddamn Easter eggs would you fit into a fucking picture? And how many times we want to give a blowjob to aliens? I'll just go watch Aliens. It's one of my favorite films of all time. I'll just go watch that. Then watch your piece of shit. And, you know, there's inconsistent stuff. Like the first time she gets the BFG 9000. Now, I remember the BFG, when you shot it, anything in the room is dead. The first time she uses it, she's in a thin, small hallway with two zombies and an imp. She shoots once, just kills one. Shoots another, just kills one. Shoots another, just kills the imp. So right there, you made the BFG look fucking weak. Which, considering you would have her use it and kill the big bad guy in 10 seconds by one shot, wouldn't that be showing how powerful it is by, wow, this one shot took out all three of them in that hallway? Like you would in the game. But I don't know why people don't think of that. Little details like that just make you question, what the hell? What in the hell? What in the living fuck? And that scene there kind of, like, that's a simple thing to do. Oh, the BFG, pretty much in any game, if it shoots, boom, fucks up as many as it can in a room. And then later on in our movie, it's going to fuck up the big bad guy in one shot. Let's really show the power of this, a precursor to that, by here's three, kills them all in one shot. Nope. Doom, doom, doom. It must be a fucking plasma gun. That's what it might as well be. So after she gets out of this cheap looking hell, she goes through the portal, she's back in Nevada. She never really gets to fully kill the asshole doctor. She tried, and he was still, you can't kill what's dead, and then pushed her through the portal. So he's still out there. And she's telling people in Nevada what's going on. They sedate her for some reason. And somehow they had a fucking sedation right there too. And as she's about ready to be knocked out, the portal's opening, and then it ends. On a sequel bait ending, like, uh-oh, she's getting knocked out, and the creature's coming in, and probably that evil doctor's coming too, and it ends. And I'm like, you really expecting a sequel? Why? For what? So would you have more zombies and cheap-ass sets and cheap-ass props? Oh, but there's a scene where a guy uses a double-barrel shotgun. There's a scene where someone uses a chainsaw. There's a scene where, look, that's the health machine from Doom 3. Hey, there's one of the dead bodies says Carmack. Who, if you know you're doing video games, you know who Carmack is. Again, like, Easter eggs, shove each egg up your ass to see how many fits, movie. Then go to the toilet and fart it out along with this fucking flick. This movie's a piece of shit. It's definitely one of the worst films I've seen this year. Because it's just an insult to the Doom name. It ain't worth a fucking freckle on a pasty ass. The lead girl sucks. The lighting sucks. The props look cheap. It spends too much time ripping off this movie than being a damn Doom movie. But again, what do I expect from a direct-to-video, cheap-ass Doom flick where they're like, who gives a fuck about Doom guy, and if you hate the film, you're sexist. Yeah, that's why most people, that's a film they love, Aliens. Because that tried to be a good movie, not a political bullshit. But again, I mean, have your fucking talks about who stole whose underwear, or saying stupid lines like, I'm your ultra nightmare. and Hadoukians, and all that shit. See, even my computer says fuck this movie. Even the computer's like, shut up about the film. I'm like, you're right, movie. You're right, computer. I should shut up about the film. So I'll end it here. I didn't know it'd be 35 goddamn minutes. But thanks for watching. Take care. And Doom Annihilation, just annihilate your ass. Fuck.